Well, that's round 14 done and dusted. Probably one of the most volatile rounds we've had in quite a while. I think there's going to be a few guys scoring up around that 1100 mark and then some in low to mid 900s. Just a variety of guns did poorly or scored well. Obviously, a lot of people had Tamale who scored a 1. A lot of people had Hines with a 25, Cook with a 28. In all that volatility, I've actually only lost 22 ranks, so I pretty much held through 22.77 last round and 22.99. So I kept that nice aesthetic number, which is good. And yeah, I'll absolutely take that moving from where I thought I was going to be after like Friday and Saturday after that Cook disaster, Hines with a 25. Yeah, just a really annoying night with Scotty Drinkwater getting -4 in the last 35 minutes or so and also bombing like 3 tries. So yeah, really frustrating start to the week, but Tallis Duncan really saved me with a 58. I ended up playing him over Riley Smith, which was 11 points difference, which I'll definitely take because I did take a bit of a gamble playing Tallis Duncan. But yeah, overall, really solid round. I'll take it. Yeah, this is my first rank drop since round 9. I went 66.50 into 5,100, into 3,000, into 2,500 into 22 and just dropped the 22 ranks now. So yeah, in a pretty good spot. Still got a fair few trades. I did use the 3 this week. So yeah, I was obviously targeting the Dragons players as expected, but yeah, it wasn't really a plan just to get Dragons guys. It just, they were the best on the board for me. I've got 300k to work with and 14 trades. So yeah, above par now, so always have been, but yeah, 4.2 above par and an extra 200k in the bank. So I'm in a really good spot. I'll talk about the Origin news as well. We had the teams leaked just after my video yesterday. I think we had the Queensland one leaked. I talked about, no, not Queensland. I think it was New South Wales, yeah, because I talked about Koloa Matangi not making it. So that's another number that we weren't sure if we'd have in round 15. But yeah, we're on to a major buy round now, so we can start putting some more plans together. It wasn't as chaotic a round as round 11 was, I think, where we had so many injuries on the back of it and yeah, our plans were ruined. I think most people are in a pretty good spot for round 15 now. So yeah, that's exciting. Obviously there's less NRL games, but it is exciting having a major buy round where like your planning comes to fruition, which is good. So yeah, talk about the round 14. I finished on 1,018. Par was 1,021. Median pretty close with 1,022. So yeah, just below target for a top 1,000 team. So I'll take that for sure. And yeah, look at that. Some teams scored 1,140. That is insane. Can you show me what that is? I won't tell me exactly what they scored, but yeah, one scored 860. So massively volatile round, like I imagined. So yeah, that's actually pretty crazy. 1,140 in a round like that. Obviously didn't play Tamale there, whoever that was. Yeah, fair few trades this week. Most people use 2+. Yeah, it's a little bit surprising. I thought it was a pretty good round to save trades if you were in a bit of a vulnerable position, having close to 10 left before the round. But yeah, people went another way. Obviously, Toby Couchman, Lawson, Campbell were really good options, same as Cook. So a lot of people went that way. Yeah, most of them didn't work out too well, but yeah, there were clear options this week, so that's fine. And then the popular trade outs actually all didn't do amazingly, so that worked out a little bit better. Kartonga we just saw score a 37, so he was the most popular trade out. If you traded him out, you survived that game. He was on 42 after like 60 minutes or something, and then just kept going negative. So yeah, it was a breath of fresh air, thankfully. And that's about it for the round recap. I'll go over that game that just finished now, and then we'll hop into my buy planner, Origin teams and stuff like that for round 15 prep. Because we only have a 3-day turnaround with the game on Thursday after we had a rare Monday night game. So pretty weird timing. Like obviously it's the King's birthday, but in fantasy, like it's a tough week to have a shorter turnaround, but yeah, makes it more exciting, I reckon. Bulldogs were too good here. Lockie Galvin's debut, King's birthday. It's always a good clash. And yeah, the game didn't disappoint. 30-12 probably didn't reflect the score, how the game went. Yeah, like Doggies were dominant, but the Eels defense was so good. They didn't deserve to lose by 18. Yeah, like the first 60 minutes or so was such a good game, especially that first 30, 40 minutes. It was just insane. Like it was a lot of ball in play. We had Riley Smith up to 39 tackles, and then on the other side, Burden had 36. So just shows you how much ball was in play, how back and forth it was. Super defensive grind. the first 2 tries were both intercept tries. So yeah, it was a pretty crazy game. I literally just finished work at 4, so hopped on the bus and watched it, and yeah, did not disappoint. Kiraz led the scoring with a 69. 4.1% of people picked him up in the top 1,000, so credit to you. I'm definitely looking to get him in next week. It's almost certainly going to come into my team. The doggies played last, which is good, so that does help things in terms of looping. So yeah, I want him anyway. He's my number 1 target, and that game, I just wanted to see him get through, really. Super lucky to get a 69, not because he was bad or anything, but he was on 57 with 10 seconds to go. And yeah, the Dogs had like 3-4 penalties straight with under a minute and a half left, and they just refused to take the 2. I guess with like a 60,000 crowd, they just wanted to have an explanation point. But yeah, kept going for it, ended up knocking it on with 15 seconds to go. But they went upstairs to rule out no try. So that stopped the clock. It was a goal. It was a 20-meter tap reset. So that's fine. Like usually the clock would just run out, but no, Eels went for it because the clock had stopped because they had to review it. So they had 2 plays. Second play, I think it was Moses threw an offload into Kiraz's hands. So +4 there, ran like 30, 40 meters and an offload and 2 tackle breaks. So a random +12 with 0 seconds on the clock. So the fantasy's never dead. So yeah, if you picked him up, that is an awesome way to finish the round. Bit jealous. I wasn't too concerned how he scored. I just wanted to see him get through, but I would have liked a smaller game, make him a little bit cheaper, make less people want him next week. Like if he got a 30 or 40, maybe people would go to Tedesco or something. But yeah, he's the man I want. I think a lot of people will get him now. 8 offloads is insane. Had a really solid game without any like try assists or anything like that. 6 tackle breaks. Yeah, just a monster. 216 meters. In the first half, he did look like he picked up a couple of niggles, like he was slow to get out of tackles. It didn't look like his calf or anything. I think he got winded at one point, maybe. Yeah, maybe just gassed in his first game back. But yeah, played the whole game, was never stopped at all. Like every play he had, he was tackle breaking or offloading. So that's what you want to see. I'm definitely picking him up next week if I can. Matty Burden with a 62. I'm not going to talk about Hayes because no one has him. Burden with a 62. Really solid. Started the game with a 50-metre intercept. Just a really good heads-up play off the scrum. And yeah, he was good. I'm not super interested in him. Well, firstly, I'll talk about the Origin teams and his 18th man, so he's going to miss next round. Moses is on report as well, so there's a chance he misses the game, but yeah, it was a bit of a nothing high tackle, so he should be totally fine. But yeah, even 18th men missed the game, like for club level, so he's out next week. I wasn't interested in him anyway because there's talk of him going to centre with Galvin coming over. Obviously, Galvin was on the bench today. It might continue for another couple of rounds, but eventually I think he's going to end up at halfback. At 5'8" with Sexton at halfback and probably Burden back to centre. So yeah, not much fantasy interest. If you picked him up, super unlucky that he was on that he got 18th man. I know there was a few people in the comments saying they had him, which is such a spew. But yeah, aside from that, even if he was playing, I probably wouldn't be looking to pick him up. Josh Curran with a 55. So yeah, he really turned that around. He was on 20 at half time, but he scraped his way there. He was on single digits for a while. And yeah, 55 is really good. 40 tackles, 3 tackle breaks. Yeah, it looked like he was going to have a disappointing game. We thought this would be a better game for him until Preston's back next week to take that edge spot because he's a significantly better fantasy prospect on the edge. But yeah, there was no use picking him up knowing Preston's back and then he goes back to a middle forward role for 45, 55 minutes. So yeah, he's probably going to be scoring about where he's priced at, but it was nice to see him get a good score for those who did take the risk in round 12. And obviously he had like an 86 or something last game. So yeah, really good stuff from him in the end. Max King with a 53, 47 minutes. Yeah, obviously he's playing Origin, so not much interest, but you want to see those minutes higher if he was going to be an option towards the end of the season. But he was really good in real life. 53 probably didn't do him justice for how good he was. Reid Marnie with a 49, and yeah, he was the one to come off for, I keep forgetting his name. What is his name? Lachie Galvin. So yeah, he played the first 57 minutes and was really good. Got 42 tackles with only 1 miss. So yeah, better than expected for him, but it was pretty obvious he was going to come off for Galvin. And yeah, I don't think that's going to continue for too long, but I think Haywood will steal some minutes off him. He was going to be one of the best options for hooker in round 18 a couple of weeks ago, but now we've got Coruscant and Cook who are like an inch above him now anyway, especially if he's not playing 80. So yeah, absolutely no interest there. But he did do well in the minutes he got today. Kickow, yeah, he was good in real life, but not an option. Who else is there from that team? Yeah, Lockie Galvin in his debut. Got a try and yeah, went crazy with the 60,000 fans. So yeah, despite what you think of him, I thought it was cool to see. I don't really have an opinion on him. He's young, he'll learn. Yeah, he probably fucked around a few people by doing what he did, but yeah, it was still cool to see the crowd go wild when he came on and scored the try. It's not like he's an Ezra man who's done something ridiculous in the off-season. Obviously, we all know what we're talking about there. So yeah, like he's a kid, he'll grow up, he'll learn. I don't think it's all on him. I think his family and Isaac Moses had a lot to do with it. So yeah, I don't blame the kid. Chase your money. The career's young, so yeah, just get your money. And yeah, it was cool to see in my view, but a lot of people would disagree with that. Over the Eels side, and Junior Barlow, another good game. Like he's turning into an actually really decent fantasy option at the moment. Obviously, not going to pick him up. No interest whatsoever, especially with their bye schedule. But yeah, he's had a really good season in real life and in fantasy, and yeah, continued that today. Riley Smith with a 47. Like I mentioned, 39 tackles at halftime, and yeah, ended up with 58, even though he didn't play the full 80. 58 tackles is insane. The 4 misses, I think he will get a 5th one. It looked like he missed another tackle that he didn't get credited for, but yeah, like you'll take that. I think it's a perfect score for me personally. I kept him over like a Kartonga or a Yongi, and I didn't play him though. So yeah, I wanted to see sub 50, but probably plus like above 35. So yeah, 47's right in that. As soon as he came off, my rank drop stopped. So it was clear like a lot of people had him over like an Iongi or Kartonga playing. So yeah, I was glad to see him come off for a 47. I probably do want to keep him for round 16 ideally, just in case we have a mid get injured. And I'll go through my buy planner, but I think I'm stuck on 3 mids plus Riley Smith at hooker. So yeah, if one of my mids goes down, it would be cool to see. It would be good to hold Riley Smith just, sorry, I don't even know what I'm talking about there. Does that make sense? I'll have to go back on my buy planner. It worked out that I wanted to keep him for round 16 for some reason. I was thinking he was dual for some reason, but that's obviously Aaron Clark. But I think yeah, there was some reason why I wanted to keep him. Yeah, I just went off on the tangent there. But for me, it's worth keeping him if I can, but he will be on the chopping block potentially. With Josh Papali on the bench, we knew he was going to play less than 80 minutes. And yeah, I think he needs to play 80 to be a good option. Obviously, he's tackling his heart out, but he doesn't do anything else, like 0 run meters today. And yeah, he does pick up quite a few missed tackles. Obviously, when he's making 50 plus, it doesn't matter. But still, like, to get 58 tackles for a 47 is slightly concerning, especially if he's not playing 80. So when the ball's out of play a little bit more and that tackle count goes to 40, 45, and he adds his few missed tackles, then yeah, he's going to have the high 30s, low 40s scores, and is pretty decently priced now. I think he's priced at 37, and then after this round, he'll be priced at about 39. Like, it was already priced at 40, so he'll be priced at 42. So yeah, could easily sell this week, but I think for a lot of teams, it is going to help to hold him for round 16. But yeah, just look at your own buy planner. Jack Williams with a 44, 60 minutes was good. It's a little bit lower than he has been playing the last couple of weeks, but 60 plus minutes is good for him. He wasn't really an option just because of their buy schedule. If buys didn't exist or like buy planning didn't exist, I think he would absolutely have potential over the last couple of weeks. But yeah, just the way it goes, Eels players on the out for our teams and not on the in. So yeah, no interest there, but he had a decent game. Who else? Hopgood with 46 minutes. So yeah, still disappointing, but slowly creeping up. Again, no interest because he plays for the Eels at the moment with their bye schedule. But yeah, like you just want to see those minutes increase. He's just getting so low in price. Going to lose a little bit more this round as well. So yeah, it's just crazy, but he's clearly holding something. It came out last week. So I don't think he's going to play 55 plus anytime soon, but as soon as he does, he will become somewhat relevant. Kartonga, yeah, mentioned him. 8 missed tackles is pretty crazy. That's the most he's ever had. So thank you for doing it after we traded you out, big fella. I really enjoy watching him play when he was in my fantasy team, but I enjoyed seeing those missed tackles today. So 35 with a try save is pretty bad. I think he's a clear trade now. He's not going to miss 8 tackles every week. I think his most was like 3 or 4 prior to this. He doesn't miss too many usually. He does slip off for a couple, but yeah, never 8. He was just a victim of being on Kiraz's side. So every run he was busting off him. Yeah, like 8. The most is 4 in all those games. So yeah, I think you can comfortably expect him to score more than 35 most weeks, but he's pretty much peaked. And with their bye schedule, if you didn't do it this week, obviously we saw 30+% trade him out, but I think you can do it next week pretty comfortably now. Who else? Dylan Brown with a 20. Yeah, he's going to be somewhat fantasy relevant soon, even with their buys, just because of his price. But yeah, no interest personally. There's heaps on the board this week who play around 15 and 18 that I'm interested in, like Humphreys, Cody Walker if he's healthy, Daly Cherry Evans, Burton if you want to swing that way. Not with him in Origin now anyway, but yeah, he's getting super low in price. Should go down to 500k at some stage, but yeah, no interest. Isaiah Iongi, 19. Thank you for doing that after we all traded you out. Oh, not everyone. I actually don't think he was massively traded out, but I traded him out. So I was desperately hoping to see a low score because he's been really good lately. But yeah, when I was like contemplating trading him out, I saw his break even. It's about 30. And I was like, I don't really want to do it. I traded him for Lawson when I didn't even have to in the end. I kind of didn't think of that when I was reversing my Campbell trade, but I did want to get 3 trades out this week to give me potential to use 4 next week. Because if I didn't trade some of these guys out, I couldn't loop as much next week. So yeah, wanted to do it anyway. And I was looking at him and I was like, yeah, he's had a few decent scores lately, but he does have those terrible scores in him. So there's every chance he doesn't even hit his break even. And even if he does, he's never going to see the light of day in my starting 13 or 17 ever again. So even if he does get a couple of random 50s, makes a little bit of cash, he is still going to score low in some games. And I'm never going to play him. So like it's pretty easy to justify getting off him. And yeah, Lawson obviously got a 15, so that's not great. But he only got a 19, his price almost double. So yeah, really happy to see a 19. He just kept going backwards toward the end. I talked about the Bulldogs kept taking a couple of penalties. They got a couple of penalties late and didn't take the 2. And yeah, Iongi ended up having like 2 knock-ons from that. So yeah, super disappointing if you did keep him. How many did trade him in the end? Yeah, only 5.8%. So yeah, I think that will be closer to 50% now, or whoever has him. So yeah, disappointing way to go out if you kept him, but yeah, it's time to go now for sure. That's it from that round. We'll move on to round 15 now. And yeah, so these are the 2 league teams. I assume most people have seen them by now. The New South Wales squad is probably getting released during this timing of this video. Queensland got released this morning, like officially, but they're going to be the same teams for sure. Big news for Queensland. Obviously, we knew Cherry Evans was dropped for Dearden. That came out a couple of days ago, but that's confirmed now, obviously. But for me, Beau Fermor was out of the team. I did talk about it. I thought he was either going to start or not be in the team. There was a report coming out that either Trent Loiero or Beau Fermor were going to be dropped. So I actually did think it was going to be Fermor. The only way he was going to start is if Cotter moved to the middle, which I thought was a realistic possibility, but it didn't seem like they wanted to go that way. So yeah, came to fruition. I've now got another number for round 15, and it's perfect. Like he played round 12 when they had the bye, only played 15 minutes. So he backed up cleanly. And now he's missing the game when Titans play in round 15. So really stoked with that. I'm glad I held on to Fermor. And yeah, I think he'll be a really popular pickup now if you don't already have him. He is quite poddish. I think he's less than 20% owned, which is pretty crazy. Obviously, a lot of people have Lucas and Herbie Farnworth. So they're the 2 main ones. But Fermor's not that far behind Herbie. Obviously, Herbie's in insane form at the moment, has scored in every one of his games in the last 7. But that's not going to continue. Fermor is pretty much set on that edge now. He will have his mid-game moments where he moves to centre, but I don't think he's ever going to be named in centre again just because he was terrible there. There was a thing that came out with Des Hasler and David Fafita where Fafita said he wants to play on Fermor's side and he was sent to Queensland Cup straight after. So, yeah, I think Desi knows that he's more of an edge and it doesn't work him moving in centre. So unless it's mid-game, I think he's going to be edge forever, pretty much, which is good. So that improves his scoring. And yeah, I think he's going to be a really good option. He has the same buys as Herbie now, so I think Fermor's a good pod if you don't want to swing towards Herbie. And he's a little bit cheaper as well. He's like 720 versus Herbie's 767 who will make money again this round. So he's probably about 780 now. So yeah, I think Fermor will have a ton of interests, and he's got the duel as well. So that's about it. Horsburgh missed Origin as well, which is absolutely ludicrous. Like, I don't know what they're doing. But yeah, if you kept him, it obviously doesn't help for this round, but maybe it means he doesn't play round 18 in game 3 as well. So he will be available for round 18, sorry. But yeah, just ludicrous. He's not in the team. Robert Toyer made the team as we'd expected. So glad to see that happened after I traded him out. I did think there was like slight danger, just if they were making 8 or 9 changes, but Queensland don't really do that. He was really good in game 1 despite the loss. So yeah, it was pretty set in stone that he was going to play. Ponga made it still over Reece Walsh. I think like just with Walshy coming back last round, it didn't make a ton of sense to put him in the team. But I thought there was a chance, but that rules Ponga out of being a fantasy option now. Walsh potentially an option after round 15, but yeah, who knows? He is having a very down season, but he looked good in his game yesterday, on Saturday. Yeah. And then Ezra Mam, 18th man. Not going to talk about that. That's ridiculous. Over to the New South Wales side. So yeah, we talked about it. Kalamatangi is out. He's 23rd man, or what is that? 21st man, sorry. So yeah, don't really think he's going to be playing, which is good. Yeah, I don't think Moses will be suspended. He should be good. So Burton's 18th man, and yeah, he's got Olakuatu and Graham ahead of him. So that's good. Stefano made it over him. Won't talk about this side of things too much because firstly, it's pretty much the same team. And secondly, we touched on it yesterday because it already came out. So yeah, Queensland, a few fantasy relevant stuff going on, but New South Wales, not so much. So yeah, that's about it for the Origin stuff. I'll get into my buy planner now, I reckon. So yeah, 14 trades in the bank. I'm actually pretty set for the buy rounds. Didn't know where I was going there. So I'll go to my round 15 team. So this is after this week's trade. So it does account for the 3 I just made. Round 15, I do have a full squad, which is good. The only caveat to that is if Savala misses, which I think is a chance. We saw Sam Walker come back this week in New South Wales Cup. Couldn't tell you how he went. Didn't look into that yet. I'll just wait till Teamless Tuesday to see what the go is there. I don't know what's going to happen. Like, Sam Walker is a dominant half, and so is Savala. Sandon Smith is leaving at the end of the season though. So yeah, it could go either way. Obviously that will be answered for us after tomorrow. I'm kind of personally hoping Savala misses out and he's dropped. I think he might be there in some capacity, like Sam Walker might be on the bench, or they might move Savala to the bench. Or like, I think he'll be in the 17, but for me, I hope he's not, or if he is, he's on the bench because I want to loop him. But the Roosters play third, which doesn't really help because I do want Cherry Evans. And he plays before Savala, I think, so I can't loop him if I want Cherry. So let me just get the draw open because it's going to become relevant as we go. So yeah, Roosters play third, Cherry Evans plays second. So can't loop Savala if I want to, and I want Cherry Evans regardless of what happens really. So hoping he misses out so it makes my decision easier and I don't have to sweat like a Savala getting a 50 and then it's a bit of a waste of a trade for this round. But yeah, we'll see what happens after tomorrow. I do have a few loop options I can do. I obviously don't want Savala in my team, ideally, like when I can't loop him. So yeah, I'll be upgrading to a half. Lawson will be starting from the bench as well. So I'll have Tamale where Lawson is. Lawson plays first because the Dragons are first up, which is good. That's super beneficial. I did talk about that as another reason why I wanted Lawson, because if he played in the last game, I wouldn't be able to loop him. So he doesn't provide any value to me in round 15. Well, he does provide value as a number, but I wouldn't be able to see what his score was and make a decision from that. Yeah, with the Dragons playing first, it made him an incredibly valuable pickup. So yeah, I'll see how he goes. If he gets a 40 plus, then I'll probably keep him in the squad. I'll loop him in. If he doesn't, I'll just switch Garrick and Tamale, because Tamale's here obviously. Switch them, and then Garrick will just be my centre, and then I'll bring in a Karaz. So yeah, that's chill. A lot of people have Lawson, so kind of hoping he does badly again. I know it's weird, like it's counterintuitive to say you want your guys to score badly or not play, but yeah, in my context, it does make sense. I've got more trades than everyone, or not everyone, but than a lot of people, than the average. So yeah, having fantasy relevant guys miss out or like score badly actually does benefit me more than most people. People will be forced into trades they don't necessarily need to make, whereas it's a planned trade for me. So yeah, Kiraz certainly coming in the event that Lawson scores poorly, which I think he probably will. But even if he doesn't, like even if he gets a 40, I know pretty comfortably Kiraz is going to outscore that. So I'll probably do it either way unless Lawson gets like a 60 or something. So that's chill. Unfortunately, Tallis Duncan plays last, so that really hurts me. I do have to either play him or upgrade another mid prior to that, prior to his game. So I don't know. I don't really like any of the mids on the board. He's going to do okay, you'd think. Like he was obviously better this round with a 58, but he does have his bad scores in him. So I would have loved him to play first or second where I can loop him and then make a decision. But in all likelihood, I don't really need a mid at this stage. So it's not the worst thing just playing him and riding his score. I think he will be quite a popular pickup anyway. So I'm not going to be alone on that island like I have been lately. So it is what it is. Like it's not an ideal world, but yeah, you can't change it, obviously. So happy with that. I'll probably loop. Oh, actually, no, I can't loop Garrick if I move him to center. But that's fine. Like I could if I wanted to pick up like a Herbie as well, but yeah, it's going to be a little bit complicated, and I don't really want Herbie at this stage. They have 2 more buys coming up, and I'm really targeting guys that play 15 and 18. So I probably can't loop Garrick, even though I'd like to. I might loop a Fletcher Sharp, who plays in the second game, I think. Third game. So I could loop him if I wanted to. But I don't know. Like I'll see how it goes. You can only have 4 loop options on the bench. 4 scoring loop options on the bench. So just be mindful of that if you are planning on doing heaps of loops. I think it's 4 max. Don't quote me on that, but I'm almost certain. I'm not sure if it's in the rules. I think I heard someone talking about it. I can't remember who, but I'm pretty certain that is the rule. So just be careful with that. I had 3 in round 12 and I didn't know about the rule, so pretty lucky there. Yeah, I want to do as much looping as I can, and probably with higher owned guys, not necessarily the guys I don't think will score well. So Hines, I could loop as well, even though he's not as well owned, just because he does have a bad score in him, and I am a bit cautious of him because I'm going to pick up Cherry Evans as well. So he's the only one I can loop. As I mentioned, I can't loop Savala, but Hines plays before Cherry, I think. Yeah, they're in the first game, so can loop him if I want to. And then I'll probably loop one of Fletcher Sharp or Dylan Lucas just because they're the most highly owned. So yeah, going to have a ton of loop options. Don't know who I'm going to captain yet. Probably Kaloamatangi or Couchman. I think most people will be on Kaloamatangi after his 2 back-to-back 80-pluses, but he's not going to score a try every week. He might not play 80 every week. He probably does in this round, but not 100% sure. Whereas Couchman, I'm pretty set on what his role is, especially if Jaden Sewer's out. I know he's going to play 80 and I think he'll be better. So I probably will lean towards Couchman just as a bit of a pod, but also I think I'll have an above average round, so I don't know if I want to go against the grain. So yeah, still to make a decision, but it's probably between those two. Pretty much just have to fade Herbie and Katoa that round because they're the 2 most popular I don't have, but again, no interest in them at this stage. I might be getting Jaden Campbell in. That's if I trade out Payne Haas. So I've got 3 pretty clear-cut guys I can trade. Munster and Tamale. There's a chance Munster makes it through again, but yeah, he's had too long in my team. He's got to go at some stage, and it should have been a couple of rounds ago, but he's been okay for me. So yeah, Munster and Tamale. Tamale's injured, so those 2 are pretty clear-cut gone. Riley Smith, I'll see what his break-even is. Again, he does help in round 16, I think. I'll have to check, but so yeah, the top 2 definitely. And I can do that to Cherry Evans and one of Kiraz or Preston, one of Kiraz or Jaden Campbell, sorry. So yeah, I can easily do those trades with my 300k in the bank. So I don't need to trade Haas by any stretch of the imagination. Don't necessarily want to. I think I'm in the keep Haas trade side of things, but he does help a lot actually if I do trade him, because it means I can get Campbell this round as well, who I don't want to fade too much. I know he's going to lose a bit more money, but yeah, he only has 1 game he misses, round 18, and he doesn't have any other buys, whereas Haas obviously misses, He's backing up in round 16 if he backs up. Then he misses round 18, backing up in 19, and then misses 20. So he's missing at least 3 games with the potential to at least be backing up in 2, if not missing. So, yeah, talked about him massively last week. He was a keep for me and most people last week in round 14, but I think there's going to be a bigger decision to be made this week. He is coming off a 63 again, which is slightly disappointing. So I can do it. It would mean I have to get Haas, Cleary and Yo back in. And when I say round 19, it's just after the origin period. So it doesn't necessarily mean then. But yeah, I need to get those 3 in. But I do have Hosking, Tallis Duncan, Garrick and Cook to trade out at that stage as well. And Hosking's going to be 600, Duncan maybe 500 plus, Garrick about 600, Cook about 600. Then if you think Haas, Cleary and Yo average out at about 800k-ish, because Yo will be a lot cheaper, maybe 850k. So I probably need about 700k to get them back in with 3 trades. And I've got 4 guys to trade out. So if I trade out Cook for someone basement price, that saves me about 400k. And then I got, I'll need an extra 300k or 200 to 300k for these 3 guys. So yeah, I'll just need to save about 300k coming into round 19. And I think I can pretty comfortably do that. If I trade Haas to Haas to Campbell this week, that's about 150k. So I'll have about 450. And then if I do Tamale and Munster up to Kiraz and Cherry, that's only like 150k or so, I think. So I have about 300k left still ready. And then just a Riley Smith straight to Hughes is even money, if not making a little bit of money there. So yeah, I have 300k and I don't really need to make any other trades. So I can easily do that, getting by with 3 trades in round 15 and 16, and then not trade again until after Origin, assuming no injuries and stuff like that. So yeah, I can easily get them back in and still have 7 or 8 trades left before we get our extras in round 20. So yeah, heavily considering doing it. I don't think it necessarily makes the most sense to do, but if I want to target rank rises during this buy round period, I think it's the way to go. I'll do some more planning midweek and I'll let you know what my final decision is. It probably will depend on mid-round results because obviously I have a pretty strong 13 already. I've got Kalamatangi, Couchman, Lucas, Aitken, Hines, Fermor, Garrick, Drinkwater and Sharp. So that's 9 keepers already without making any trades. And then like someone like Cook as well. So yeah, I don't really need to do it. But if some of these guys that I'm looping do have disappointing scores, it adds more value to that trade. And yeah, so it's going to depend on that, probably after the first or second game, whether I do it or not. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. Like I want to do something that's going to give me a chance to rise in ranks, and I think that's the best way to do it. And then after round 15, I'm pretty much set. So I'm hopefully going to make 2 to 3 trades this round, depending on how scores go again. But yeah, after that, round 16, pretty set. Like we've got 12 guaranteed to play, bar injuries and stuff like that. 2 maybe, so like Munster and Haas backing up. Again, this is before trades, obviously. And then 2 positional backups who don't make the starting 13, but their numbers as well. So obviously May will be starting. Clark moves up here. Oh yeah, so it was Clark moving up there, May down here. And then I've got Tallis Duncan as my backup. So I prefer playing Riley Smith over Tallis Duncan. So if one of these guys go out, Riley Smith provides value because I can move Clark back to mid. So that's what it was. I was going on a tangent, but I was right in my tangent. So yeah, Riley Smith is somewhat valuable in round 16 if there was an injury, but I can easily get away with trading him as well. So yeah, set for round 16. Obviously round 17 is the easiest. Got heaps of guys, only 2 guys missing. Then what is it in round 16? It was if I was going to trade, if I trade in Cherry Evans, I lose a number there. But it was just for Munster anyway, so I've got 2 halves anyway. I can move Fletcher Sharp up to half. So yeah, I'm all sweet. And then I have Kiraz playing here. So yeah, all sweet there, all sweet in 17. Round 18, pretty much sweet. Like I've got 10 playing already. That includes Savala, but that will be Cherry Evans anyway, so that's fine. And then I've got Tallis Duncan and Hosking, who are 2 extra guys that aren't in my starting 13. So yeah, pretty comfortable there. I've essentially got 12 after trades. So yeah, not too concerned. I can look to get off Hosking if all these guys are still in. but that's a big if, obviously, in fantasy. Like 4 rounds is a long time. So, yeah, if that is the case and I don't need to play Hosking, I'll probably trade him unless I wanted to loop him. Yeah, he's probably on a chopping block then. He's not a keeper by any means. Obviously, he hasn't been performing like one, and Nicholson's coming back later in the season. So, pretty comfortable to get off him. I'll get off Tallis Duncan in that round as well if I don't use him. So, we'll see how he is. He could easily get up to 600k or so. So, yeah, I'll run the numbers on whether a Haas trade makes sense or not. But at this stage, I'm leaning towards hopefully doing it if some popular guys score badly this week. And then round 19, I've only got 8 playing with 4 maybes and then 2 backing up. So a little bit less comfortable than I am in round 16 and I was in round 13. But yeah, I'm going to get there either way. I'll lose Cherry Evans if I do trade him in for Savala. But yeah, I'll gain some guys like Munster. Fermor I don't expect to make Origin, so he should be sweet. Then I might not have Haas. So yeah, pretty comfortable to get managed through this bye period with only a few trades. I don't even need a trade now. I just want to because a lot of people are going to be stuck on 13 and not have many loop options where I'm going to have the ability to. I've got 300k in the bank, so I want to use that. I don't like holding on to money for that long because obviously it limits what your starting 13 or 17 can do. But yeah, like I've got heaps of easy trade outs this week. Heaps of guys I'm targeting. I don't know whether Cherry Evans will be that popular. I think maybe 10 to 20% will pick him up. But there are a few decent options on the board. I could always go with Humphreys as well if I wanted to save a bit more money. And that would make it a lot easier to get Haas, Cleary and Yo back in. But yeah, we'll see. I think Cherry Evans has a chance to be an end of season keeper. He is slightly lower. If you think Cartola is going to be the second best, that's fair enough, behind Cleary. But he averages 57. Cherry Evans is going to average pretty close to that, maybe 52, 53. And he's over 100k cheaper. So yeah, pretty comfortable with bringing him in. He's averaging 51 this year, 53 the year before, and obviously massive before that. So yeah, I think it's reasonable to expect he's going to score around 53 or so. He did have slight goal kicking in the last couple of seasons, 0.7 a game in those random games he took over. But Garrick is pretty HIA prone, so I think there's a chance he goes down at some stage of the season and then Cherry becomes the top kicker for their team. I think he's next in line, so there's always a possibility that his ceiling increases if that were to happen. But obviously you're not relying on something like that. And I've got Garrick as well, so it wouldn't help my team. But his kick meters in general play have been up lately, whereas he's only averaging 430 for the year. And he's done above that 4 out of the last 5 weeks pretty comfortably. So yeah, pretty happy to bring him in. I'm not concerned with him making game 3 for Origin. So yeah, I think he will be somewhat popular, but most people have Hines, Katoa, Savala. They have at least 2 this week anyway, so he's not as desperate for most people. So I think he will be a nice little pod for my team and a way to hopefully rise ranks if he does well. But who knows? He does have the Titans, so could get a few try assists there. But I'm pretty comfortable in wanting to bring him in this week. Hughes is going to be the main popular guy in round 16, and I do want him as well. So that would leave me with Hines, Hughes, and Cherry Evans, plus Fletcher Sharp, who can help out there. So I think that's good. I don't think it's excess. You obviously want a few backups in each position. So yeah, I'm not too concerned with doing that. I think Hughes is almost a must-have at that price. He looked really good on the weekend. I wanted to do it this week, but couldn't. But it worked out okay because I played Tallis Duncan anyway. So yeah, not too concerned there. I desperately need a winger fullback though, with Tamale out. I didn't even realise how dire it was, but I only have 3 really. I've got Garrick, Sharp, and Drinkwater as my only 3 now that I traded out Yongi. So yeah, definitely bringing in a Kiraz or Tedesco either this round or next round. And I want Kiraz more than likely. So yeah, that's my plans. Obviously I'll have another couple of videos out this week before round kicks off, and I'll do my updated buy planner with the my potential trades I'm making. So yeah, that'll have a bit more clarity, but the round's just ended. We'll see what happens with Teamless Tuesday, but I like to ramble and get this out as soon as possible. So that's my plan at the moment. We'll see how it goes. Let us know how you guys did this round and how many you're looking at having in round 15 and what trades you're looking at making. But until then, we'll see you next time, guys. Enjoy. Bye.